it's your girl, and she's back at Angels with Scaly Wings. A lot has actually happened over the last week or two. I haven't recorded in the last fortnight or so, actually. The last one I recorded was the Resident Evil 4 episode. And in that time, my license for XSplit has expired, I lost my voice, I passed my driving test, so now I can drive, and there's something else in there. There was something else in there. Probably not important, but a whole lot of hell happened. Oh, right, a house inspection. Ugh. Anyway, it's so great to be back and recording. I actually tried to record this before, but as I said, my XSplit license has expired, and like I was using a free key from Humble Bundle. So yeah, I'm on to just back to OBS now, and I think I actually have a preference for OBS because it loads quickly, it's very quick and efficient, it doesn't have the same, like, nice and neat features as the other programs, but it does its job. Man, that's pretty cool. Right, gotta get back into the voices. Let's hope I don't rip my throat out today. Hey, Molly! Hey, Sebastian! I thought I'd meet you at the front desk. What are we doing in Bryce's office? He does have a nice office, doesn't he? And the chairs are comfy. Is that the only reason we're in here? The dragon gave a brief chuckle. Let's just say that any information pertaining to this case is important enough to warrant some privacy. I see. Will Bryce be here anytime soon? I don't think so. He's still outside looking for Razor. He's not the kind of person who gives up easily. That sounds like him. That's Bryce for you. Once he sets his mind on something, he sees it through to the end. That's why he's our chief. He gets things done. At this rate, it doesn't look like we'll find him today. He could be anywhere, long gone, beyond our reach. What do you think? I don't think he's going anywhere. He can't flee to another place. No matter where he goes, he'd be recognized immediately. In the end, his only way out is the same way he got in. A portal. And at the same time, I don't think they invented cars. And he can't use that without someone noticing. Very astute observation. Wonder what will happen to our trade agreement now, considering Reese's still missing, the murders, and the stolen generator. If Reese really is the murderer, then... Don't do that! What? Worry! You don't know what's at stake here. People are dead, Molly. Do you think I don't know that? Reza may be our prime suspect, but he's also a missing person. For all we know, he could be a victim. Maybe someone is making him do this. My point is, we don't know the facts yet. What we need to do is find him and find the murderer. We'll find Reza and go from there. We'll figure it out. Thanks, Sebastian. Anyway, you said you had some information for us. So what did you find? The bandage you found is something, alright. Of course, it could be anyone's. But why would someone discard theirs in a place like that? It seems suspicious to me. It's certainly worth checking out. I'll make sure it gets to the right place. I'm not sure if there's anything special about what Anna wanting Reza's blood. I mean, she's a scientist, so it's natural that she'd be interested in something like that. We'll have to talk to her about it, though. Maybe she has some more details for us. Well done, Molly. That gives us some solid points from which we can continue our investigation. In any case, thanks for your help. We really do appreciate it. You're welcome. That should be all then. Since Bryce still hasn't come back, I assume the search is still going on, and I better get out of here and help him. Guess it's going to be a long day. Can you find your way back to your apartment? Of course. Alright, I'll see you later. Good luck. Finally, some free time. Whatever am I going to do? Looks like there are some messages on the answering machine. Let's see. Please leave a message after the beep. Oh, I get it. Please leave a message after the beep. Gotcha! You thought that was your answering machine, but it was me, Dean. I know we talked about me coming over again, but I thought, why not mix it up and you come to me instead? I mean, it's not like I can use your excuse and pretend to order something from you. After all, you don't even have anything to sell or deliver. Unless, well, I don't think you're that kind of person. Oh, I do hope this is the right number, or someone is going to be very confused. Well, she didn't get the right number, and I'm still confused. Oh, thank God that's not hot. Yeah, I'll do... before my recording went to shit, I went with the Dean and went with Anna. So there's probably going to be the little sister message being like, "Oh, you've already experienced this before. Are you sure you want to go through with it?" Oh. And yeah, I do want to go through with it. This should be the right address. I'm coming. Oh, it's you. I was expecting someone else. You're a little early. Yeah, I didn't know how long it would take me to get here. Better early than late, right? Yep, that's me. Leave 6 hours before a fucking appointment, just so I can be there on time. Is my ear falling? I think my ear's falling. Fucking... I sure do love having an undercut. It makes wearing my ears so much more inconvenient, and I just fucking love that. And who might that be? This is Emily. She's one of the kids I work with. Hi, Emily. Say hi, Emily. Hi. I just have to bring it back to the orphanage real quick. Feel free to make yourself at home in the meantime, okay? Sure. Nice room. Cozy. My records indicate you've already experienced the scene in a satisfactory manner. Would you like to skip ahead a bit? No, you don't fucking skip ahead. As you wish. So, this is where you live, Dean. Small but cozy. One room, no kitchen, nice telly, nice little beanbag. Bed might not have enough room for 2 people, so that's a bit of an issue. I'm back. That was quick. Being able to fly does have its perks, you know. Wait, you flew her back? Well, I am a delivery flyer. And she doesn't get scared or anything? Not at all. She's such a brave little girl. So, what exactly is that you do? What exactly is it that you do at the orphanage? I'm a volunteer. I help them out with whatever they need, and sometimes take care of the kids. They only have so many social workers. The ratio is about 1 social worker for every 10 children, so it's good for the kids to spend some time one-on-one with someone they know. I guess you could almost call it babysitting, but for the kids, we basically become foster parents. The older they get, the less likely they are to be adopted. She might be too old to be considered soon. Well, let's see. Does your government have any policies on same-sex couples adopting? Ow, fuck, that actually hurt. I can see why. What do you mean? She seems... Whoa. Whoops. That's not what I wanted to do. She might be too old to be considered soon. I didn't want to see... I can see why. I misread it as, I can see why you'd want to adopt her. Not... She seems like a little shit. Fuck you. I'd adopt her if I could. Just take the fucking time machine and go back in time and be like, hey! It's like walking into a room being like, hey, what's up, everyone? I think dogs should vote. And then everyone's all like, I say, I'm not going to stand for this. And then you just take a time machine, you go back in time and go, I think people should vote. And people are like, oh yeah, that is a very astute observation. I have no idea if I'm going to cut that out or not. I'm afraid it's just not that easy, and the actual numbers of adoptions aren't very promising either. I'm worried about what will happen to her if she doesn't find a family. We will still take care of her, of course, but it's not quite the same as having parents. I'd adopt her myself, but I don't think I could care for her properly, not as a single parent with my packed work schedule. Well, maybe you should adopt her with... Oh, fuck, I knocked the screen again. Yay, everything is going so well today. Anyway, as I was saying, maybe you should adopt her with someone who's got diplomatic immunity and a huge fucking budget because everything's paid for them. I still volunteer as often as I can because if I don't, who will? Someone needs to be there for those kids. That's very nice of you. Thanks, but for me, it's not about being nice. I almost feel obligated to help, you know? Anyway, let's talk about something less depressing. Like what? Let me think. Oh, I just remembered that someone died here recently. Here? In your apartment? No, not here, silly. It was close, though. Barely a block from here. Right, the murder of the maintenance guy. I remember that. Wait, it was a murder? I didn't know that. I just thought it was an accident or something. That's terrible. Sorry for mentioning it. Finding the first victim was already bad enough for me, and now I have to hear there was another murder in town? I wish I could just get some good news for once. At least it wasn't you who was murdered. That's a strange way of looking at it, but you have a point. That reminds me, I've got something I want to try on you. Try on me, huh? It's nothing too dramatic. I read this magazine the other day and I found a few interesting articles. Using her partial hands, she held up a magazine to show me its cover. A rather bold-looking female was present on the front, adorned with trinkets like rings and jewels. Various headlines gave me an idea of the content within. It reminded me a lot of the typical gossip magazines back home. Lifestyle, the magazine for modern people. This issue even came with a set of fortune cards. I'm not sure what to expect. Those type of magazines are usually trash. Ah, yes. Why would I want to shit-talk her hobbies? Just walk into a house and say, these are bad and you should feel bad. I'm sure they're qualified to determine my fate. With articles like 5 steps to get the partner of your dreams, I'm pretty sure. Come on, it'll be fun, if you say so. What should we look at first? You decide. Alright, let's see. Here, this article talks about dreams and what they mean. Have you had any strange recurring dreams lately? Look, for me personally, I don't usually dream, but they're often about people I know, like, I suppose my family. It's about my family most of the time, because I don't see them a lot, and I often feel a lot of guilt, I suppose, about not being able to see them, especially since, like, I'm basically a year fresh out of home. Not even a year fresh out of home. Like, I still lived with family, and then I moved out in January, so it's very... My dreams are often about people I know. That could be for a variety of reasons. One theory is that dreams are a way for the brain to process day-to-day experiences, so it's not unusual to dream of people you've met. But a recurring dream involving the same people is a different story. That could represent strong emotions that could represent strong emotions for or unresolved issues with that person. Yeah. What about your dreams? Kind of feels like they're different every night. Most of them are nonsense, but sometimes I dream of people I used to know. Somebody that you used to know. What do you make of all this? I don't know. Even the article concludes that scientists haven't exactly figured out why we dream. It's a big mystery. Alright, let's move on. Oh, I thought you meant moving on from the magazine. Don't be such a sourpuss. There's some interesting stuff in here. Well, obviously the protagonist doesn't particularly care for these magazines. But I feel, as the player, and since I'm playing as myself, I should have the opportunity to just be like, yeah, these magazines aren't really my thing. Especially since I feel like gossip magazines and beauty magazines are actually quite detrimental to, like, the psyche of society as a whole, because you've got, like, the fat shaming, you've got the big things about women being women and men being men, doing big manly things and all this other shit, and it just contributes to a whole bunch of stereotypes and gossip about celebrities who just do their own celebrity thing. But I don't mind sharing something with her. Like, if she's passionate about it, then yeah, okay, why not? And I'm not muted, am I? Oh, thank fuck. That'd be the worst thing. The dream stuff wasn't so bad. See, I told you this was going to be fun. What's next? A personality test. Didn't you always want to know what kind of relationship would suit you? I'd like to see a close relationship between this magazine and that trash can. Sure, why not? I'm pretty sure I already know what I want in a relationship, and like, if Amber were here, I'd just kind of pick her up and put her in front of the webcam and be like, this is what I want in a relationship, and she'd make cute little bunny noises, but let's find out. Okay, first question. In a relationship, what role do you take? I prefer to take the reins. My partner should be the leader. I like to switch it up every once in a while. I'm a bit 50-50 because I like to plod along doing my own things, but at the same time, you need to stand up and, you know, actually take control every now and then, even just to organise a date or breakfast in bed. And then at the same time, it's like, for me, it's a give and take. And I can't speak for any relationships, but, like, Emma and I have been together for like 5 years now, and we've managed to keep it going by communication, and neither of us is always dominant, and neither of us is always just kind of laid back. Like, she's got her shit together, I've got my shit partially together, and we try and take care of each other the best we can. It's a reciprocation, that's it. So I like to switch it up every once in a while. Variety is the spice of life, huh? Moving on to the next question. Well, I'm also indecisive, so there's that. Wait, aren't you going to answer the questions too? I'll take the test after you. I don't want to keep track of both our scores at once. Alright. Question number 2. What's your favourite dessert? Chocolate cream... Oh, fuck yes, chocolate cream cake. I could go for 12 of those right now. Lemon? No. Coconut? No. Chili? No. And I'm not going to be a wuss. I'd choose chocolate cake. An all-time classic. Who doesn't like chocolate cake? Here's the next question. What is your dream job? Oh, wouldn't be farmer, because that is far too active. Far too active. Ultimately, my personal dream job would be self-employed entrepreneur, living off my art and my YouTube and my Patreon and all that shit. So I don't want it to go cold, because cold tea is the fucking worst. So it'd be a bit of a tie between a stay-at-home parent, because I would like the work that I do brings me great joy, and like, if I could just do that for the rest of my life, even not necessarily being popular, I'd be happy. I like doing this. I like sitting. I like connecting with people. It's great. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind being a stay-at-home parent. Like, at the moment, I'm not extremely passionate about kids, and I firmly believe that you need to be passionate and prepared about, like, adopting or having kids or whatever, so you can give children the best outcome at life you can. Because, like, especially if it's a homegrown kid, like, you're responsible for bringing them into the world, so you're also responsible for making sure that they get the best chance at life they can. But, I wouldn't mind staying at home. I think it would also depend on what the definition of business person is, because while technically I would be a business lady, running my own shit, business also includes, like, business, numbers. So, I think I'd pick stay-at-home parent. Because I don't mind cleaning, I don't mind cooking and all that other shit. I'm with you on that one. But does that really qualify as a job? Well, for one, are you questioning the almighty magazine? But for two, the way we view jobs is based on the income. I mean, you look at doctors and you look at nurses, not so much nurses, but doctors, dentists, lawyers, and all that other shit, and they get loads of money. They get loads of money, it's prestigious, it's considered a job, because, like, you know, society needs it. However, because being a parent, a stay-at-home parent, doesn't earn any money, so it's not seen as a career. However, you're usually putting in just as much effort as someone with like, maybe even more than someone with a 9 to 5, because you are 24/7 with minimum breaks, taking care of kids, you're paying out the ass for them, and you have to be a good role model 24/7. And in the small amount of time I spent in classrooms, it's a fucking tough job. So the only thing stopping stay-at-home parents from being a job is that it doesn't earn money. That's literally the only thing. Oh, excuse me. Forget I said anything. How many more questions are there? That's all of them. Now, to look up the results. Oh, it says here the results are outlined in the weight loss booklet that came with the magazine, but I already threw that away. Before I said, I guess we'll never find out what kind of relationship would suit me, but... Because why did you do that? Sounds aggressive. Oh my god! Oh! I just got it. I just got it. When I first played through this segment, I went, oh yeah, you know, saying, why'd you do that? You clearly needed it. It's like being all like, oh yeah, you know, it's your fault. You ruined the entire day. But no, it's implying that she's extremely overweight and she needs to look at dieting and weight loss. That's fucking brutal. I ain't having any of that shit. Guess we'll never find out what kind of relationship would suit me. Yeah, how else would you know? Oh, there's no other way. I'll be at a loss for the rest of my life. But now we get to the best part, the fortune cards. Again, like, do we really have to do that? I went to her house to hang out with her, and I asked her to choose the activity. Plus, it's also something she's passionate about, or at least interested in, so there's that. Like, why the fuck do you go to someone's house to shit-talk them?
Oh, you're playing Call of Duty? Oh, that's a heap of shit. I'm going to sit here and call everything you know and love absolute bullshit.
And, like, telling her it's not real, that's like, whatever. Like, it costs me $0 to stay in my own fucking lane, and my own perspective on tarot, like, paranormal and all that shit. Whatever. It's not constructive. But that's what I was looking forward to. I actually do enjoy the concept of fortune-telling cards as well. Me too. How's it supposed to work anyway? I mean, they're just cards. How can they predict the future? Apparently, there are different schools of thought regarding the use of fortune-telling cards. The cards themselves don't know anything. They're just a tool. So the information actually comes from somewhere else. But where, though? Well, one interpretation is that it's our subconscious who gives us the answers that we seek. Similar to how dreams can be interpreted, the interpretation of the cards is very dependent on the person itself and the symbols they recognize in the card's images. We recognize images that are relevant to our lives, and that gives us an idea about ourselves and our current problems. So, because she just said a fucking mouthful, the gist is, it hints at stuff, and we as humans, or we as cognitive beings, as sentient beings, make sense of it. It's like, what's it called? An information system. And the data collected is only information when there's someone putting sense to it. So on their own, they're cards, but without someone to read and interpret them, you know, they're just fucking cards, but otherwise they could be a fortune. And, like, they're all basically vague enough that they could be relevant. Like, kind of an example is he was very popular in the early 2000s. He was a guy that ran a psychic show where he apparently spoke to the dead. And his whole deal with that was like, you know, he'd throw out a letter, he'd throw out a name, he'd get a name from someone, he'd start talking about feelings and just kind of start broad and then narrow down to, like, narrow down to a specific person. And, like, people are into that because they want closure. And, like, it's okay to want closure. And, like, there's no scientific evidence that, like, there's no conclusive scientific evidence that the psychic stuff is real, but, like, If it gives you closure, if it gives you closure, then okay. Okay, if it's not hurting anyone, then that's fine. But a lot of it can also be explained by psychological stuff, but I don't know. I feel like that's enough personal discussion on that. However, that is just the most grounded interpretation out there. People usually associate something more paranormal with fortune cards. One of those explanations is that the cards are our way to communicate with a higher being, a paranormal entity that knows more than we do and can give us subtle nudges using the cards. And who would that be? The explanations range from ghosts to angelic beings. One even involves humans. Really? Yeah, people would say you could communicate with humans this way. And then there was also something they called the higher self. Higher self? How come you know so much about this? Because I read the article about it. Yeah, doing the reading. Okay, what should I draw for you? Draw my persona! Oh, wait, you mean fortune. Why don't I get to be the one who's reading the fortune? Please draw my persona. Because I paid for the magazine, so the cards are mine. Okay, so what are my options? I could read your past, present, or future. What is it going to be? Well, for me, when I was playing this before, I said I didn't mind looking at the present, but I kind of do mind looking at the present because it's giving... I prefer to look at things more logically or more factual. And like looking at the present and the future, it's like I already know what shit's going on in my life. So it's like just looking at that's just going to be, yeah, great. I already know that shit's hit the fan, or I got a hat. It's a nice hat, but thanks for noticing, cards. And I don't like knowing the future because, like, on the one hand, I really don't like getting my hopes up. Because, for example, I got my hopes up with my first 2 driving tests. I failed twice, passed on the 3rd time. And because I got my hopes up, I was so crushed, like I physically felt crushed. And to know that certain things are coming in the future, I don't like to know that. Whatever happens in the future happens, and, you know, we'll pick it up and we'll work with it. We'll see what happens. We'll look at our options and go from there. If you plan too far ahead, then you just, like, you're going to have all this scaffolding for a building that might not even be built. And while it's okay to have a contingency plans, it's like, you know, if you have your sights set on this one set of scaffolding and then there's another one that's set up, like, it's pretty heartbreaking. But I like thinking about the past because it allows me to sit and reflect. Like from Meet the Robinsons, you learn a lot from your mistakes. From success, not so much. And you just keep moving forward. So, past. Reading the past sounds a little strange since you already know it, but it might help you see things in a new light or give you a new perspective. Exactly what I was going for. Let me see what this card means. Your past is filled with fire, strife, and conflict. Yet like steel, you adopted it and were tempered by it. What didn't kill you only made you stronger. As a result, you grew up quickly and became a mature and decisive individual. You know what you want, you have the potential to get it. See? Back on the talking about the psychic thing, that's vague enough that it could potentially apply to anything. Like, my past is filled with strife and conflict. It is. My past was pretty shitty. And, like, not all of it wasn't my fault. I did some pretty shitty things too, but, like, I understood what I did, I took it, and I used it to make me a better person. I am who I am because of my circumstances and my experiences. We are all products of circumstances and experiences. And growing up quickly and becoming a mature and decisive individual, for one, I'm not decisive. I'm very indecisive because I stop and think about considering other people and, like, considering if what I'm doing is okay. Like, even if it's just, like, going and buying a pack of chips. It's like, shouldn't I? And I know what I want, and I have the potential to get it. True, because this is an example of me knowing what I want and wanting to go get it. I'm working towards becoming, like, supporting myself through my creative endeavors. But growing up quickly is growing up quickly and becoming mature. It's a very broad thing to say, because when you sit there and think about it, you know, like, some people are mature in some way. It's just like multiple intelligences. You can be mature in some ways and immature in others. And for me, it's only within the past couple of years, like with my transition, moving out of home, and actually experiencing adult life, that I've become mature. Whereas the mature I was in the beginning was, maybe I just didn't laugh at fart jokes at school. Maybe I just didn't say swear words at school. And growing up quickly is also another thing, because while on the one hand, we do have to grow up quickly and come to conclusions about different things, we need to learn different things faster, and sometimes we don't grow up in other aspects. Everyone has personal growth, and I want to say it's like a fluid or a spectrum or something like that, where it's maturity is non-binary. You aren't either mature or immature. You can be anywhere between, like, not mature at all or the most mature around. It's just like, as much as this is rambling, it's also coming back to the whole, what's been read out is vague enough for me to relate to. Because I can pick out little points that relate to me and probably relate to everyone in my house, every one of my friends, everyone I've spoken to on the internet. What do you think about that? It is very generic. It's very generic, but I want to say it's true because, well, it is technically true, but it's extremely generic. Is that so? Then it's up to you to keep learning from your past and moving forward with that knowledge. Exactly. I guess that's everything the magazine has to offer. This was certainly interesting. I guess that means you had fun then? Sure, let's call it that. Let's call the 30-minute fucking rant on maturity and all this other deep bullshit fun. I can't believe this. I turned a fun game about dating dragons into a fucking massive psychological, political, whatever, semantic discussion. So, do you have anything interesting going on at the moment? I can't imagine what ambassador life is like. It's been busy. I thought this whole thing would go by quickly without any mishaps, but now it seems like there's always something happening. Oh, really? Yeah, I figured I'd come here, do the exchange, and leave again. But apparently it's not that easy. It never is. You speak like you've had the experience as an ambassador. Well, no, but doing deliveries is similar. People order something, I fly to them, we exchange the product for payment, and then I go back. It's basically the same thing. Yeah, sure. But things always go wrong. For example, imagine you have 2 deliveries to make, and the first one goes smoothly, okay? I'm imagining it very hard right now. Alright, so you get to the destination of the second delivery, and they actually check what you handed them. It turns out that you mixed up the orders, but you already delivered the first one. That's certainly not a pleasant situation to be in. Now you have to go back to the first family you delivered to, who by now have probably noticed that they got the wrong order, and exchange what you gave them for what they actually ordered. Right. But it turns out they didn't mind the mix-out. As a matter of fact, they've already started eating what they got instead. It's not so bad that they aren't angry, but now you can't exchange the orders anymore, so you have to fly back to the restaurant to get the second order remade. Happens all the time. As a result, the people waiting for the second order do get angry, because their order has to be remade and delivered all again. And the plot thickens. And they complain, of course. Their meal gets comped. The restaurant can no longer sell that first order you still have, so the orders for both families are deducted from your paycheck, and you end up eating nothing but ramen all the week again, just so you can make the rent this month. That sucks. And that's why you always double check your orders, because even a small mistake can have consequences reaching further than you think. Sometimes we just have to learn the hard way. I guess so. And that's another thing I do agree with, like going back to my experiences with the driving test. My first fuck up, nearly T-boned someone. I remembered that. On my third test, I actually did the same course again, and I waited, didn't fucking T-bone anyone. Second, I didn't check the lines on the road to merge lanes, so I didn't do a head check, I didn't indicate for a lane merge. Fucking caught me out. Third time, I was watching the ground, wasn't fucking T-boning anyone. It's like learning that the stove is hot. Someone can tell you it's hot, and you think that it's hot, but you don't truly know that it's hot until you actually touch it. So sometimes you do have to learn the hard way, because the hardest mistakes stay in your head the longest. Anyway, what else have you been up to recently? Do you remember the stunt flying competition I told you about? Of course, I assume your participation is a given by now? Actually, I'm not so sure about that. I mailed the application earlier today, so hopefully it'll arrive before the deadline. Or maybe I should just fly it over myself, while showing off a few moves, that is. You should fly over anyway to make sure you get in. It'd be a shame if you couldn't enter because of a technicality. Yeah, I really should drop by. By the way, could you do me a favour? That depends on the favour, I suppose. It's kind of a long story, but there's something I need. You know some people at the police station, right? Yep, and it's a cop shop? Cop shop. It's the shop for cops. Go there, buy yourself a cop. I think they're in possession of a map related to an underground building they found. I've heard about that. Oh, that's great. Maybe you can get them to hand it over? It doesn't even have to be the real thing. A copy would be just fine. What do you need it for? Let's just say I'm interested in doing a little investigation of the place myself. What's so special about it? It's supposed to be a remnant of an early civilization, or maybe even something created by humans. Who wouldn't be interested in that? Yeah, I'd pay a visit if I could. See, I think if you put your word in, we could easily make it happen. How do I even ask for something like that? You could always say that humanity is interested in it. Honestly, they probably would be. Could you ask them for me, please? Why are you doing the puppy dog eyes? I just want to kiss you and hug you. It's not fair. I can try. I won't promise anything, but I can certainly try. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I didn't know you were into archaeology. I wouldn't care as much if it turned out to just be some old building. The whole thing about it me being made by humans is what's really interesting. Why is that? Well, the myths wouldn't be very mythical anymore if that was the case. We'd have proof. And that's so shortly after finding that humans are in fact real. Yeah, what a time to be alive. So you believe in all that stuff? Belief isn't the right word when you're standing right in front of me, you know. That alone is a miracle. I get excited all over again just thinking about it. Speaking of which, all this excitement made me lose track of time. Is it that late already? Oh, actually, I have places to be, especially if I want to make sure my contest application arrives on time. Guess I should be going then, huh? For now, at least, I certainly wouldn't mind if you stopped by again sometime. Will there be any magazines involved? Actually, that magazine doesn't come out that often, so we wouldn't have anything new from them. I could get a different one if you wanted to, though. Don't bother. If you say so. Anyway, I really have to go, so I'll see you around. Yay! Nothing going on today. Guess I can do whatever. And I think I'll leave the date with Anna till next episode because I can't. Like, the date probably would have taken maybe 5 or 10 minutes, but because I decided to stop and have a big existential discussion about it, it took much longer. And at the same time, I only got my voice back a little bit earlier this week, so I'm trying not to strain it too much. Because, like, after this, I've got, like, 4 other things I want to try and record, if I can. At least to have enough content for next week. Anyway. Excuse me. Horrible interruption. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time, and I'll see you later.